today's stream. Time for the stream. Takes a bit. There it is. Yes. Actually starting. Hooray! Would you look at that? Oh. Yep, it's that once a month stream. It's back. Time to share this in the Discord. Right now. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I have a very basic idea for story something. I don't know. That's why I'm streaming. Assistance, please. Ideas, something. I don't even know how I'm gonna like. I don't know. Put it down like comic, manga, art book. Some other. I also don't know how I'm gonna like do the visuals. Well, obviously drawing, but the style. I have a small set of ideas. Like this one that I did before. I don't know if I want to do it like this, like as if it was an actual sketchbook with pencils. I don't know. This is why I need ideas. I don't know how to do this stuff. Also, today's like the only time I got some free time. So it's the best time to ask people. You know, I should probably check if my audio's working. Oh yeah, it is. Very cool. Hi, 4 Elements. How are you today? I don't know what I'm doing. Please send help. I have a very basic idea, but no story for like you're having dinner and you're watching this. Oh boy. The YouTube video while eating. That's good stuff. So I'm trying to come up with ideas for like an actual story for once. I know, crazy. I don't know how to do that though. And I only have like I wouldn't even call it the bare minimum. Less than the bare minimum for an idea. And it's basically just yoinking other people's ideas. So I might want to change it. people come up with stories? Start and end point. Start main event. Don't know. Something disaster. I have this. And like, I kinda have an idea of starting. I might just want to start actually sketching. Hopefully get ideas. Some sort of deer. That's not, what is this? What is this? It was not a deer, that I am sure. This is more deer-esque. You know, sometimes I should like start stream with like a plan of what to do. Bah. Now why would I do that? That sounds like a smart thing to do. I am no professional, nor expert. I am just some person on the internet. Who streams like once a month. Out of nowhere. Because making a schedule would be easy. Red. Anyway, I guess to explain some of my ideas for... Hello. Hello, KS Metaphor. To explain some of the, well, like the only ideas that I came up with for some sort of project thing, it's basically just, all I got is something to do with a cross shape like that. My microphone's up? Yeah. This is it boosted by a lot too. This is what happens when I don't have a mic arm, because I don't have a mic arm. I could boost it more. Properties. 142. Let's do 200. How about that? It is now 200%. Test, test, test. Yell. Scream. Youch. I don't want to go too loud. If it's a bit better, I can make it even louder then. 250. I'm worried that it's going to start making my computer fans really loud, though. It is now 250. 250. More or less. Decibels can be weird. I don't want to suddenly blow out your speakers. Can you tell I don't do this very much? I'm going to put it to 75. 275. 75. Close. That's good. Okay. Okay, good. I'm not sure how much insightful anything I'm gonna give that you'll need to hear, but hey, better to hear something than nothing. I don't actually know how to stream. It's all fake. Foggle's back. I can't believe it. You managed to make every single one of the streams, even though I just kind of do them randomly. Out of nowhere. Very impressive. Okay, I was talking about the thing that I'm doing. So, any sort of story. I don't know how to tell a story. So I'm just trying to come up with ideas. I have bare minimum. I am not opening the door. Bare minimum of starting event thing. Yep, generic. It's generic apocalypse. And the world looks like this now. All, I was gonna say all brown gray, but it's supposed to be a drawing. You will not be taking away my computer. I need it. It is required. So the only ideas I have right now is that for whatever reason, people turned into these red cross things, or like a bunch of people. That's all I really got. And then they also make monsters somehow. So, you know, typical, normal apocalypse scenario. What did the gnome do this time? Nothing. The gnome had nothing to do with this. The gnome is innocent. Also, I'm using a felt tip stylus pen, so that might be audible. So a human cult into monster cult? Let's see. So a human cult into a monster cult. A cult, we say. They're just summoning Cthulhu. Oh, jeez. The humans doing one of these. Humans invaded my house and are now pretending to be in. Maybe. There's a chance. This so you're saying it's no disguise. Oh. There's a siren going outside my house. I wonder if that's audible. That would be really funny if it is. It's probably audible. You like grass? So I'm trying to think with the wonder if there'd be like some sort of outer god, something like that, interference to do the turn into crosses thing. Because, you know, that's not very normal. I'd say that's the opposite of normal. And it's quite magical. is a deer. Could help me doing a brainstorm? I would really like that, because all I really got is the people turned the crosses and also the monsters. Good old monsters. But not everyone turns into the crosses with words first. Oh boy. I'd have to figure it out. Got words. People to maybe you could make it a magical version of chronic wasting disease. The deer has become immune, but it spread to humans. And crosses make the monsters. Some people. The thing about the chronic wasting disease, it's like a cool idea, but also I was thinking of it being like a suddenly thing, hence why on this sketch it's like a highway covered in them and they're still in the cars. Got stabbed by the cross, so yeah, it comes on. Blood becomes the cross, the flesh turns into the monster. Ooh. Parasitic plant with the blood. So we could do like the blood to the cross and the flesh to the monster. Plant. Maybe some sort of spreading by spores. You could try like a lizard or a Komodo dragon with a bunch of spikes on its back. I could definitely do that, because I'm thinking like more animals that exist with the crosses in them as the monsters. Plants, spores. I'd have to look up a Komodo dragon though, because I can't get that off the top of my dome. I'm not cool like that. Yeah, I was thinking like the crosses like become part of the monsters. Going back to this image, so like this one's legs and it's in its head are crosses. And then higher density areas of crosses, like cities and stuff, would create larger and more dangerous monsters. The Komodo dragon. Mole crosses equal mole monsters. Komodo dragon. Zoos might get a little wacky. Although, I don't think it would be... I think only humans would be affected because, yeah, of course. Wouldn't be an apocalypse without it specifically spiting humans. Hello, Sir Brawl. We are currently brainstorming. Wait, I have a better idea. Giant one. With the crosses for the teeth. This might be a little too ridiculous. An idea, a tree shaped by crosses that are all together when no creatures around it stays, but when it attacks in a group. Not tree shape, but in a kraken way. Oh, so it's like it looks like a tree normally, but then when it is disturbed, it becomes a horrible kraken creature. I plan on realizing old drawings. Yes. I think that could work. And then also, the single crosses, do you think, like, if it is a plant thing, would they themselves be alive, or would it end up being like a swarm intelligence, where they come together? Or maybe some of them are like dormant, and they're just chill all the time. Or maybe they need flesh to do stuff. But the cross kraken would not need flesh. Do you ever plan on revising your older drawings? Do you mean like redrawing them? Probably not. For a lot of them. A lot of them are not good. They're very simple. I mean, I guess I could. And also there's like a lot. It would take a very long time. And if you mean just reposting them on YouTube, some of the files I don't even have anymore. Oh, releasing them. They are all released on my DeviantArt account from day 0. And a lot of those really old ones I don't even have files for anymore because it was like on my old iPod Touch or on my old laptop. So the way to get them would be copying them off of DeviantArt and then reposting them to YouTube. A group of ivy plants. Now, a group of ivy plants to make the cross kraken. That would... How the heck would I depict a cross kraken that is also tree looking? Plant that ate the south. What is it called? The tree of heaven? Or heaven's vine? You know, one of the most baller names. The cross tree, and it's like also got ivy through it, the quote-unquote flesh. Or maybe all the cross monsters are just mimicry based. Hence the deer, the lizard, tree. And it doesn't matter what flesh makes them up. Back. Web-like. Like what's sticking it together? Into some body snatching. True, could be like a body snatch thing where I was kind of thinking about this, where the crosses from the people are like act like salt licks for animals. So the animals are like, tasty, and they lick them, and then something happens. Gotta make your mic volume up even louder. Oh my gosh. 75. What's the lore you missed out on? Depends on how much stuff you missed out on. I don't think it was very much. There was and it's all like missed out like the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes is basically classic apocalypse scenario where a bunch of people get turned into these weird looking crosses. And then monsters. Yep. Generic apocalypse. Can you sketch a human? I want to see your human sketching process. That is way too big for this area. For humans, I do like circle for head. I typically start with the head, even though I know lots of people say start with the body. Different bodies. Don't worry, guys. It's not going off into nothing. Can make it into a survivor. Also, what differentiates people from the ones that get crossed from not crossed? This head's too big. This person's tall. So fast? Oh, I've been practicing for a little while, you could say. Oh, Nipsey, we got to catch this one. Yippee! Coming up with ideas for... Did I enter art class? No. I have not done an art class, unless you count like high school art classes, which are really bad and didn't actually teach me anything. I don't count those ones though, because, yeah. I would say I am mostly self-taught. Just drawing every day. You don't have to do that. In fact, I don't recommend it, but it's what I did. You have to put a meaning behind the cross or create an opposite. I'm not sure if... Do we really have to? Because, like, mystery is also, like, some of the... I don't know how to word this. It's good. Sometimes there doesn't need to be a reason. Or a meaning, I should say. There can be a reason. Some outer god of meddling. The opposite. Just turn it upside down. Make it blue. And if there was an opposite, what would it be? Would it be the reason why not all people are turned into them? Some of them are immune to it? I mean, I guess that would make sense. Maybe they all got some different symbol on them. Somehow, somewhere. Like a birthmark. Survivors are those who are nice / happy / good, so that you can say the cause of the apocalypse is the cause of society. No, people are gonna be like, no, politics. I mean, I was originally thinking just because, like, there are quote-unquote crosses. Social criticism. Oh my gosh. I was thinking that since they were, like, quote-unquote crosses, it could be some sort of, like, oh, these people did this quote-unquote sin. Oh. Ooh, boo. Spooky. But then, like, the monsters don't really make sense for that. Ooh, the squeaking of the thing. They happen to be dead. So, like, me when I fall off a ladder and my heart, because of a heart attack, but then I hit the ground and then my heart restarts. Squeeze what? I think that was... Wasn't that that was from something. Where, like, people that had died were immune to what was happening. I don't remember what it was, though. But I feel like that is from something. Or at least used in something. Maybe on the back of people's hands or something? Just on their backs? Could be a coma patient that woke up. All people in comas wake up during the event. What would be a different symbol, though? The inverse of the symbol. Genius. It's like the other one, but different. I know. Genius or whatever. This is how brainstorming is supposed to work, right? It's going to be normal or have different mutations. I was thinking be normal, but also if it is like, if it is a plant thing, there could be like people that are or not immune, but asymptomatic, and then they could have some sort of ability or power. And if it's like an outer god meddling thing, there could be like some sort of magic. Mark of immunity would be interesting. Makes me wonder how widespread it is and how regular survivors from outside the event perceive these peeps. I mean, there's definitely going to be some, like, not racism, but elitism of those with marks and not. And there could be like, hey, we're the group of people with the marks where we're basically just normal people, and then there's the people without the marks that have immunity to it somehow. So they get powers, but are probably perceived as more dangerous. Squeak, squeak. Yeah. Immune? Like True Souls from Baldur's Gate 3. We do a little elitism sometimes. If you got the mark, you know. Now, would the mark be more like a born with it thing? Maybe happened when the event happened? Maybe did some ritual? Lots of maybes. An idea? What if there is a symbiotes crosses and the parasite crosses? That could be an idea. I would probably think that the parasite ones would be more prevalent though, because apocalypse. And the symbiotic ones. And maybe it depends on like the person that was transformed. I think of a certain mark that the Bible talks about. I wouldn't know it. Immune? Flesh. Symbiotic? I don't know how to spell. Mutated. Seems like the bloodborne mark. I'm gonna have to look up. I think you're probably right. Bloodborne mark. I don't know about. Okay, I looked it up. I don't know about that. If it was inverted. Right, with the emojis. The Mandela effect. Dang. So, should probably nail down how the crosses are made, or maybe can figure that out later and just focus on like how the monsters are made. Is it a blood versus flesh thing? Mimicry? Does it affect the creatures? Lots of ways it could go. Do a Y-shaped cross? You mean like this? Or do you mean like this? Evangelion thought, I can't just copy Evangelion. Feels more furry. Little tiny crosses. So you guys thinking this Y? This type of Y? Make it point up. So like that is more the right. So you want the one with the like an arrow. Oh, you mean like just or just the Y-shaped one like an arrow. So many crosses. The up arrow curse. No! I got that up arrow curse. So you think that would be as the good cross, quote unquote, the non-monster one? The Nordic rune style. Nordic runes. There do be a lot of them. There is one like that. Like that. You know what part of the human body would the symbiote would be? You know, I'm not sure, because the cross is supposed to like be made from the whole body. So like a symbiotic one. Maybe it depends on where the symbol is on them. Like if it's on the hand, they can do some from the hand. On the back, maybe they could grow like wings or tentacles or spikes from their back. If it's on their legs, for the human body, hair. Could be on like their scalp for something with hair. If the whole body's getting converted, you could do a Dead Space type thing. They turn into the... Gotta shoot him with saw blades. How does Dead Space's infection work? I don't want to steal it, but ideas are ideas. You know? Symbol of manifestation of the actual thing, or the thing itself? Virus, bacteria. Okay. Yeah, we were thinking of a plant before. Could be a virus or a bacteria. The symbol, I was thinking that it's like, there's a symbol that like shows that you are, either you have it, but aren't turning into a cross, or that you can't get the infection at all. So I guess in that case, it would be the thing itself. I'm not really sure. Unless maybe there are different symbols for people with it that mean different things. Like all these different crosses could be quote unquote different abilities. They're all stage infection sensitivity. I don't think I really want it. Well, for the main portion of people, I don't think I wanted it stages, because I wanted the this type of cross to happen basically immediately, but maybe the other ones could have stages. Oh yeah, for new people, here's a drawing for like the first one I did for inspiration of how it like would look. So like there's a road, the highway or overpass, whatever, on the right where there were people and they got crossed. Tree, like you're still giving birth on top of us? You mean as in like the cross? Or do you mean like whatever is creating the what's going on for the tree like Yggdrasil? And then the Nordic runes would make even more sense? Also in this image you can see the creature with the crosses as part of it. The Red Reaver. I'm not sure if that helps anyone get ideas who's joined more recently. So this fiver could be I think I see the symbol as a molecular structure as it changes forms and has different properties. That could be interesting. So like under a microscope they could see the cells becoming more like the crosses. Giant tree and see the Nerdelish. Cyrus could have a mask that protects them. So you mean like a I don't know what mask I would give. Mask with the symbol on it. Or maybe this is like back to the cultist idea where the cultists have protection by using the symbols. So there are this one, this one. Could protect or attack based on emotions or on climate. I think for the I was thinking the monsters would be like more, well, more generic might not be good because powers would be cool for them too. Some like Midra before he moves his own head, like extra bodies in the background. Have the cross implanted in your body. Youch. It's like extra bodies in the background. And for climate and emotions, for attacks or protections, maybe. I think before we like come up with ideas for attacks or protections, I have to like really figure out if the crosses are like magic, plant-based, bacteria-based, virus-based, some other base. Cross come from the spine. They could, that would make a lot of sense. Just, I was gonna draw a spine, and then I was like, what, make a mask. From the spine. Comes from the spine. Make a mask. I like the spine idea. where it's like the spine is the main base of it, stake of it, whatever the main part of it is called. Okay. Extend to a tail. Oh, you mean like make the cross as like the spine of a creature. I don't know. Because yeah, it's a good idea. I just don't know how to make it, or like what creature to make it look good with, unless it is like an actual person with it. Or does the hair make the top part of the cross? I'm not really sure what makes up what of the cross. I think it would be more like when it's finally done, it'd be like an amalgam of everything. But it could like start from the spine of whatever infection plant magic does it. And if the flesh does split from it, I would think the hair would split from it too. If it is just like blood and bone going into it for the final product. Comedy. And also, do you think only this type of cross would be the one that like appears? Any new ideas? There's a lot of new ideas. I don't know how long you've been gone, but there's a couple. Not sure how many. Like some of them are conflicting. Like how the crosses are formed. Is it your Saitama? I do not know what you mean by that. Like if this, like the, I don't know, double arrow cross, whatever this would be called, is the only one that appears in physical form by itself, and then like all the other ones are just symbols on things. Or appear much smaller. Last thing I saw was you joining the first Survivor. Okay, so since then, we came up, I'm pretty sure this was after that, we came up with the idea of like some crosses being able to ward off the like actual bad apocalypse monster one, or give you certain abilities if you have it. I'm not sure if we came up with the people that have that are infected, but it's like of a different kind of infection slash magic slash mushroom spores slash virus, and it somehow makes you immune to the one that turns you into a cross slash monster. You know, that was the big thing. There was also the idea of a mask that could ward off the cross turning into age. Trying to think of what else. And like, if this is a story, what's the point of the story? Is it someone going somewhere? Just checking it out? Just trying to live? These are all, I think, valid questions. Something world building. And like, are all the monsters with the crosses just bad? Or are some of them like passive? Some of them chill like that? Are some of them only chill to other cross creatures? In which case would they be chill with the infected survivors? Could be trying to find a quiet place in the woods to gather new friends, family. Oh my gosh, the true treasure was the friends and family we made along the way. No way. Could be though. Maybe they're like trying to leave some city area, which has a lot more monsters. I mean, it doesn't have to be a long story, since I've never done it before. And also, I still don't really know how I would do it. As in, like, manga/comic style, more art booky style, other. I can't animate. Animation's probably not going to go well. I mean, it restarted low society after that. Yeah. Yeah, the goal could just be try to restart society. Other crosses attacking, food, ability to think, fun. I would think probably food to replenish their bodies, since it's like not, they aren't from like born alive. It's from dead stuff or controlled stuff. Even a love story about two survivors who learn to trust each other along that journey. That would imply that I know how to write a love story. I mean, maybe I'd learn, but I don't know. Also, going back to why they attack, I mean, it could be fun too. It could be a little fun. Just a little silly. Or if it is like a plant or a fungus attacking people to like infect them with it, would probably make sense. Zombie virus ++. Hello, Kurdo. Or should I say your other name? Or would you like me to just say Kurdo? I remember. And you're right. No one knows how to write a love story. Just wing it. So true. How that works. Question. I'm glad you're able to catch it. I feel like not much has happened, but actually, like, I think a lot has happened. Mostly a lot of brainstorming. Ignore this one on the right. That's they're just chill. So if it is words, if we start in a city, have to leave, find friends, new question mark, trying to reconstruct other creatures at their image. Yeah, if they like hunt creatures to mimic them. And who knows, maybe the cross creatures also suck memories from what they kill. But like in a weird, twisted way, you know? In a not pleasant way. Friends. Create new life. New society. So like a reverse false Hydra. Yes. They make themselves very known. They are not trying to hide. Or at least most of them aren't. Maybe some of the cross creatures are more sneaky peeky like. So if they, then it is like a mimic thing, or maybe doesn't always start as a mimic thing, but it becomes a mimic thing. Gobble up memories and image. Maybe they're like a basilisk, where the more knowledge they have or whatever, the stronger they are. Doesn't support just die and the cross stays there. Animals that don't support just die. Hello for stream, I got to see. Hello Dragonfire, welcome. Welcome to the brainstorming stream. Yep. Yeah, so like the animals that don't help it, they just, too bad, so sad. You're out of here. Also, for anyone just checking in, here's a different drawing for ideas for the setting. Basic rundown: people had generic apocalypse. People turned in, or a bunch of people turned into these weird red crosses, and these monsters are also being made from the crosses now. What is the cross physical's base form? Perhaps some form of very thin worm-esque creature. Yeah, we've got a lot of different ideas for that. There was, generic magic. There was virus / bacteria or spores. Yeah, those were the main ones. Have not heard worm yet, though. Small wormy creature. Maybe then back to the cult, where like they spread the worm creature, and then like it activated on a blood moon. Ooh, spooky. Plant spores, worms. That's on the wrong there. Worms. Squiggly fellows. If there are multiple other crosses other than the big ones, you can see it as a very small-blooded worm that could enter the body of a creature want to take control of it, and then do bloodmancy. Take over freely, puppet. Be saner. Blood. Hemomancy worms? Hemomancy worms. And there's different types of worms. So like the people infected with the worms that don't turn them into super crosses just get the hemomancy powers, depending on the symbol they get. Goofy eye worms. Got the the main evil worm, the evil worm. Not a snail, though. So then it could be different worms. Snod is coming back. It's all Snod's doing? No. So we could have the very common. Could have the, and all these are rare. What else? What else was there? Damn. Sword shapes similar to lamprey. They're goofy. Worms. Like lamprey, but very tiny. Itty bitty parasiticky boys. There. And of course, they have tongues that just happen to look like the cross they have. So, this one, turn to cross. Do not pass go. But then these rarer ones, I imagine these would be the ones giving you abilities based on which one they are. Hemomancy. Hemomancer. Turn to cross. And then the crosses could be like covered in the eggs of the worms. And then the salt lick thing from way earlier would also make sense, because then the animals lick it, they get the worms. They got the worms now. Think of is, what is the price of having one? So it's like, so you know how if you have like a tapeworm, they eat half your food you eat? That, probably. For like the ones that don't turn you into a horrible cross thing. Is there a master worm that when controlling someone also connects to every other worm, creating some sort of worm army? The worm hive mind? That's a season 2 worm reveal. Save one extra worm to turn into the monsters. Maybe this. So maybe the worm life cycle, wormy worm life cycle. This worm makes the cross, and the cross makes a new kind of worm that just happens to look very similar. And that this is the worm that makes the monsters. So then monsters, like, when this first happens, they're not running rampant everywhere. And So then this is like the eggs are on the crosses, and it acts like a salt lick for animals. So like deer will be like, delicious salt, or cows. So they lick it a whole bunch, and then they get monsterized, or maybe those are still dormant for a bit, so then predators eat them, and then they get monsterized. Eggs on cross. This monster worm. And that could also be why there's not very many monsterized humans, because they're like, I'm not gonna lick the cross. Are you crazy? And why they just have the rarer hemomancy worms. Hemomancer. Save next worm to turn into monsters. So, worm eggs on cross. Like a salt lick. No, the cross can have an aphrodisiac? Oh my gosh. No way. Salt lick. But better? There it is, but better. Account for that. I'm gonna say good enough. It counts for that. Now the other worms. What would they do? Maybe one of them would just straight up be, they're just like a normal parasite. But you don't turn into a cross, but no powers. No powers, just worm. And which ones would be the rarest? Does it really matter? I mean, the rarest gotta have, like, the coolest power, right? Worm. Thumbs up. So... worm. Worm. Just worm. Worm. How many different powers? Great question. I mean, I would imagine it would all have to be with hemomancy. Actually, there could also be, like, the osteomancy, bone magic. So, like, the rare one could, like, this could be bone. Actually, it would make sense if the combination one was the one that did, like, bone and blood magic. Maybe one of the worms could allow the person to communicate with the blood of other beings, allowing them to comprehend and speak other animals, excluding insects and stuff. I think that would go into, like, the... maybe there's subsets of hemomancy. Worm, just worm. I think I'm gonna... worm, just worm. You're out of here. Maybe there's just people that are, like... the worms can't survive in them for whatever reason. They just don't get worms. And then, therefore, immune. So you could have like hemomancer, steomancy. Could do like, what would flesh mancy be? Depending on the amount of food in the area. Flesh mancy, just flesh mancy. All? Question mark? Types could depend on the amount of food in the area. That could, like, these would be like subspecies, right? So then, depending on where you are, it'd be more likely. Just because that's genetically in that area, that's what they are. Maybe ones that eat more citrus, or are in more citrusy areas. Nymphomancy, the control of plants. I being the nymphomancy. But with lymphomancy, how would the worms do that one? I mean, sure, how would they do any of this? But how would they do plant controlling? Create Discord, people like to communicate there. There is a Discord. Although, there's just like, it's more of a generic-y Discord. It's not like a specifically this thing Discord. Plant. Oh, the vegan worms. But then why would they? Are those the ones that just infect plants? It's just a caterpillar? But like magic? Rare. I mean, yeah, I probably need something other than all the Amancy, because that seems a little strong. Yes, vegan worms, magic bugs, and trees. Got the beetle, who's just chilling, but also got a worm on him. Blood control, blood smithing, healing factor. So true. Answer. Create solid blood objects. Solid blood. I mean, I guess you could do that for like any of them. You could do the create objects, but you could also do like, so they all have their own way of healing. Because like the osteomancy, you can fuse bones, but you could like patch things with bones too, but not the best. Flesh would be really good at, you know, patching flesh, but not bones. And blood, you could replace things with blood, but you could never bleed out because you could just control the blood back in. Also cause mutations in certain creatures due to messing with their internal functions, like turning insects larger and giving trees proper sentience. Brainomancy? The electroshock emancy, where you can effectively control the brain because you control electric impulses in all muscles. What about that for the really rare worm? The implications of that aren't awful or anything. Wormy worm? Electro. Static. I don't know what. Skinoman. Oh no. That sounds awful. Just from a visual standpoint, like I would not want to see anyone skinomance anywhere near me. Neuromancy worm. Worm becomes the one in control. Wait a second. How many mancies we got yet? we have like 3 that make, in my opinion, a lot of really good sense, and then like a lot that are like, like fleshomancy would probably go into skinomancy. And probably brainomancy too, but like, you probably wouldn't want to be brainomancing your own brain. That doesn't sound very smart. I mean, I guess you wouldn't care as soon as you started doing it. Combo. And then fleshomancy, humancy, plus ramifications. Plus, your body like explodes when you do like more than one emancy, because you know you're kind of only going to be controlling your own unless you connect your body with someone else's with your emancy. Like if you shoot a bloodstream into someone else's blood. Hieromancy. Now, would hieromancy allow you to instantly grow your hair, or would like doing that use like a lot of energy? Or would it end up being like some horrible flesh hair instead of normal hair? Well, enough has eaten a lot, could have empowered effects like enhanced hemomancy. True. Bigger, fatter, the fatter the worm, the fatter the power. That is not an H. Eat older / more fed. The worm, the stronger the power. Maybe it would also have more hair, beard, nails. Ooh. That's all like made of, yeah. Well, it's like keratin or whatever, right? Or not keratin, whatever. Mystery. Find out in season 2. Woo. Power. But also bigger drawbacks, because a strong worm. Advanced sensorial type. Is that like you get better senses? Here. Drawbacks. A mystery worm, you could have to roll a magic D100 and it lands on a random power. You get flight. Grow giant. Well, I guess technically with fleshmancy or hemomancy you could... Okay, maybe not with hemomancy, you might not have enough blood. But with fleshmancy you could probably create wings. Or a gambling worm. Woo! The symbol is a slot machine. Let's go gambling. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. What about the power regarding nails slash hair and stuff, since it's not bone or blood? Yeah, it's like keratin or whatever. I mean, that could be done. Would that be... I mean, you could do a lot of cool things, but I feel like it would end up just being like a quote-unquote lamer with the stuff you could do with that, just because... Unless you did some weird, like, nail cage, I guess. Or maybe you could grow nails and hair from all over your body. Because there is a condition, I believe, where you can grow keratin all over your body. And there's like Stone Man syndrome, which would be the That's the bone one. No, fingernail shooting. Yuck. Mystery. I'm gonna make sure that nails are keratin and not some other itin. Are nails keratin? Yes. Keratinomancy? Tin. Fancy. Keramancy. Well, teeth would probably fall under, even though they're different than your skeleton, I think, but like, come on. Keratamancy. Keratamancy. Yeah, I would say teeth are closer to bone. What are teeth made of? Teeth are made of many layers of dental enamel. Non-calcified tissue. Muscles and fat. That's gotta fall under fleshomancy. We kind of made it a little general, but it's gotta be a fleshomancy. And would people with the different these worms end up forming? Well, they'd probably form tribes because the worms of that type would probably all be in the same area. And then they do a little bit of warring with the others. Yeah. Lipid, musclemancy, and adamancy kind of all into fleshmancy. Yeah, fleshmancy is very general. Man. The wormy. Not the wormy. So, like, to make keratomancy, could have a person that, like, just grows fingernails all over their body. What a terrible arm. Please don't judge. So you got your spine, and you got your funny worm friend. Airmancy? Veinmancy? Nail armor. I mean, the veinmancy, you could kind of argue hemomancy basically does that. Especially because, like, with hemomancy, you don't actually need veins. You can just control your blood to go where veins are supposed to go. So if you get, like, an arm cut off, you could still just reattach it and have no blood loss with hemomancy. And because blood is still going, eventually it'll be fine. Make a Da Vinci human with all the worm modifications. Hold on. Human. Well, I mean, most of the modifications probably won't physically change you, except the keratin one. That's only if you, like, choose to grow keratin all over yourself. And then obviously, like, you get the symbol somewhere on you, probably. Hemomancer. Magic blood. Not the good ones, I mean the monsters. You want a Da Vinci model of the monsters? Does anyone know how much blood you would need to make blood wings that actually, like, kind of work? Like, it's gotta be more than what's in a human body, right? Like, it's gotta be a ridiculously large amount. Yeah? Like, you would definitely die trying to make blood wings for yourself? I should have copied and pasted it before I gave them all that red. About 4 humans worth of blood. Will the worms be able to enter freshly fallen creatures that inhabit their host even after death? Kind of leave it around as makeshift vessel? Yeah, I think so. Especially these worms aren't very follow physicsy. I think they'll be chill. And like a lot of these powers could effectively create necromancy. Just like if you say with hemomancy, if you shot blood into something, your own blood, and then like had a little blood tether to it, you could kinda control it. Probably not very well, and you need a lot more blood. The good reference would be Knight Paladin from Henson Bridge. You would love it, and the other ones that she did. I have to look it up. Knight Paladin. Henson Bridge. I'm not sure if this is the right thing, but it's very psychedelic. I don't know if that's the right thing, but it's definitely interesting. Like imagine you see your friends after you haven't seen them in a week and you think you're telling them, but it's really just the worms. The worms. And you. So you are osteomancy. Parasite the maximum. Hey, those aren't worms, those are just magical flesh parasite things. They do be kind of similar. Okay, not really when I think about it, but they are something. Going full biopunk body horror with this one, right? That seems to be the way we're going right now, yeah. At least with the people powers. The human worms. And Caromancy. speech would probably be easily recognizable though. Like they definitely be talking like worms. Definitely not a normal human speakerin. They've been using them without meaning. Well, the worms. What if the worms and abilities leave a lot of scars along the body? Yeah. Other than like fleshomancy, there would probably be many scars. Fleshomancy just gets to like kind of cheat though. Although it could leave like stretch marks. But then I guess you could just fleshomancy them normally back. Thank goodness you're streaming. Indeed. So you have a limited amount of use? No. I think that, well, maybe for some of them. You could probably only use it until you ran out of energy or food stores. Because, like, for all the stuff you need something to, like, make the stuff out of. So, like, Bloodomancy, it would probably be one of the stronger ones, but, like, you only have so much blood. So if you run out of that, you're just, too bad. Be someone who befriended the worms inside them and began learning of the worm's true goal. Worm. I'm telling you this now, unless there's some really intelligent worms, I'm guessing a lot of them are just like, I'm a worm. This is just what I do. You could take the Darkened Champs from League of Legends as reference. Oh no. That means I have to look up League of Legends. No! And what if by the passing of time, turn the people even further away from humanity? Turn themselves into monsters for survival, power, greed? So true. I mean, especially with the different worms, these guys are all probably going to hate each other because different worm. Like similar to the concept that you're doing. So what's your true goal? What's your true goal, worm? Squirm. Hungry. Vitamin B12. The Darken. Yeah, just looking at images for the Darken, this tells me nothing. I'd have to actually look into it. Dang it! I mean, I was thinking for the Hemomancy one, they could like carry in quotation marks. Just have, I guess this could go for any of them, but just have like a big sack of blood that they're hemomancying, so it stays with them for extra blood stores. There are people that don't have powers. Oh yeah, I think there's just gonna be people that are just like, I don't know, the worms. Either there's a worm that's dormant in me, that's taking up the space of another worm, or for whatever reason they just can't live within their body. So they get no powers. None. I'm not sure if the keratin one would have, the Caromancy would have any scars either, since it's just growing out of them. League of Legends. Oh no. And every single group hates each other. Grr. So this would be Hemomancy. Hemomancy. Kind of reminds me of that one frog who would force his nails through his hands to feed himself. One frog who would force his nails through his hands to defend himself. Interesting, interesting. Does any of them use farts or constipation? I'm gonna say probably not. Tragically, I know. It would have been really funny, but I don't think so. More monster designs? And with any of the Wolverine frog. The Wolverine frog. What the heck? He really do. The frog really do it. This frog's kind of crazy for that one. A little ridiculous. So, if a host had multiple worms, you think that they would just... Too bad. So sad. It's over. They're gonna fight inside you and blow you up from the inside, basically. Or until one is left standing. Parasites, like, fight each other for resources. How do they consume the person using them? I think for these worms, it would just be like a normal parasite, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna eat a lot of the stuff you eat, and you're gonna be like a little hungrier than normal and lose weight. Whereas in like the, this makes sense based on the predator way to work. And for the big turning into crosses one, I think that the magic, they're like super hemomancer worms that hit you with the cross. And it is not pleasant. They make you have hunger for their types of power. Yeah, I would think, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, the poor Caromancers. They're gonna be nail biters. I feel like if there were multiple worms, if the larger worm found the smaller worm, it would force it out of the body. But if they aren't found, you just get 2 powers. I was thinking that the worms resided on the spine. Which I guess, if one's at the top, one's at the bottom. And eventually they'll get big enough to duke it out inside your body. Which is, you know, probably not ideal, but what are you gonna do? Magic worms. Proboscis. A worm fight club in the spine. All the homies love the worm fight club happening directly on your spine. Could the weakness be for some electric stuff? Yeah, because it'd be like muscle spasms incapacitating the worm. We have wandered away of the crosses by now, for the blood and the flesh ones. I think if you shocked the spine, it would be yikes. Yeah, we've wandered away from the crosses. But that's because the rare worms are so much interesting. They're rare and stuff. The crosses are also made by worms. Just different worms. But then, I guess, where did those worms come from? Where did any of these worms come from? Some goofy cult putting it in the food supply. Eggs, I mean. Not just worms, but you know what I'm saying. I sure do love this squeaky felt nib. I'm sure it makes listening to this very enjoyable. Shouldn't the weak ones, the rares, like natural selection stuff? That is true. I mean, that's why the Hemomancer ones are... They're commoner than, like, the Chiromancy ones. The ones that live longest survive. So divine otherworldly punishment. They could be some otherworldly punishment / meddling. No offspring number has to stay on that. Offspring number has to stay on that. That's true. Cool idea to reconnect the worms and the crosses is that the cross worms come from blood cults messing with the blood worms in such a way that they are overloaded and have to make the cross or stabilize themselves. Could be a cult to advance humanity into the next stage. Could be a cult to advance stage. Fear and hunger. Oh no, fear and hunger mentioned. Outer god meddling. Although that, like, with the monsters and the people turn into crosses, outer god meddling seems pretty likely. Because I don't think any natural selection is going to cause this stuff to happen. Unless Gorogoroth got a depths collab. No, Gorogoroth just likes destruction, and this is at least making something new. Gone wild. All are called. Yes, you know, we know. If there's an anti-worm cult, Plague Doctor looks and vibes, no worms allowed. Headed by the people that can't get worms. And I like Plague Doctors. They have just a big store of the anti-parasitics. The parasite killers medication. Nushka appeared from somewhere. Appeared from magic. What a sad looking trench coat. They use mushrooms. Oh, wait. And of course, to keep their internal temperature up, they gotta be super jacked, because clearly too hot of a body temperature would kill the worms, right? even though they probably survive in like deserts and Arctic tundra. Unbelievably strong doctors. This looks terrible. I should have stepped with the original doctor. Just give him huge muscles. I have to go for a bit though. I will be back in probably 10-ish minutes. You guys can brainstorm without me, right? Holy smokes, there are people still here. I cannot believe it. I returned. Where was I? Oh yeah. Should probably read all this brainstorming. Oh, Lebu. Caught a stream while I was gone. Dang. Okay, I was here. Here I'll be waiting. It could be like Venom from Marvel, but not friendly. I just wanted two worms grow up to be Dune-sized. The Dune-sized worm. Big the worm enhanced the power they already gave the cost, requiring more sustenance. Yes. The advanced humancy. Bones of others. Boot up inscription. Bird. Know to wear worms to make the soldiers. Monster worms come from. Yo, finally caught a stream. Doctors hate worms. Torturing environment. For them, they work on horrifying ways. They're purists. Like brainwashing and things like that. Alright, so glad that you guys kept going. I have got quite a bit to catch up on. I mean, the doctors could use leeches to, like, for the hemomancer ones to drain the blood, so they get weaker. Good question. Monster learn, story, society, weapons, worm, the world, etc. Electric stuff, vaccines, pills, mushrooms, food. Feel great. Animals, vehicle houses. Based on current tech or crude processes. Okay. I am back. I am caught up. No. You came in just while I was gone, and you have to go as I get back. Well, good night. Tragic. So, Giga Chad plague doctors use different forms of medication / treatment to deal with the worms, such as leeches for hemomancies. It is what it is. You'll just have to watch the VOD. Thunder. Boom. Although the VOD goes up way earlier than the live chat replay comes up, so for like a day, the VOD is just worse. Because YouTube has to check out the live replay to make sure it's safe and good or whatever. Can't have any rapscallions in the chat. The leech jar. What about how people create households or they are vehicle houses because they become hungry very fast, or they make animals procreate to kill them? I feel like it would be faster to become more of a vehicle house hunter-gatherer type, because I imagine like that fleshomancy probably takes a lot out of you. You could probably like eat a whole cow in a day, easy, depending on how vigorously you're fleshomancing. So I think it would just be easier to move around I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Haha. Exactly that. So leeches could be like the hemomancer one, but like the other ones, I guess burning for fleshomancy? Human would want. Yeah, the people would definitely be more huntery. They don't got time to settle down and like make good clothing, wearing wolf pelts and monster hide. Other such things. And maybe then that's another way to like distinguish the people with the specialized worms from the plague doctors, because like these guys with no worms or dormant worms or whatever, they don't have to go anywhere. They can chill. They're not feeding an extra parasite. They can be distinguished gentlemen with bird masks because they're cool. Distinguished bird gentlemen. With a nice dapper top hat. Just need help deciding, should I make a katana, hammer, scythe, or Japanese spear? I'm just gonna adapt to look and feel like the worst fear of the person by testing, or what? Maybe like some monsters, like if there was a chameleon monster. I'm not sure about all of them though, or even like a good chunk of them. It all depends on these crosses. Everything goes back to the crosses. Find distinguished gentle bird. Dinkelberg. But with one or two more things, would it be like Chainsaw Man? But like Chainsaw Man, do you mean like the transforming, where it's like half human, half chainsaw / whatever it is? I will need you to elaborate, please. More elements to look more unique. Oh. Fine. We got the crosses, but yeah. I mean, we could do like the hemomancers. I've drawn hemomancers before, and they look very different. Signs or color or function. Worm face instead of word. How? It's supposed to be a mask, so how do you do a worm mask? I mean, that kind of works. It's like a lamprey face. Like, instead of plague doctor, it is worms of high society. Yeah, except these guys are doing it to like scare the worms because they don't like the worms. I think it'll just look like a birdolo. I mean, you're kind of right. That's where the more eyeballs come in. Distinguished gentle worms. Hemomancer. I mean, so this is an idea, but like the Hemomancer ones could end up looking like this, because this is how I drew Hemomancers before, where they get like all these spikies and weird faces. Maybe that's more of an advanced one though, where they end up becoming more monstrous. A Hemomancer. Just kind of feel like connected to something else. That one works, I think. Their bodies seem a lot more plant-like. Yeah, it do be sinuous. Other Hemomancer drawings. They're all kind of sinewy. Well, just an idea. Advanced version of the vegan ferns turn into these. The vegan worms. They're back. The caterpillars. I mean, they don't have to be exactly like this, but as an idea of like transforming into something else more monstrous. Squeak. Look like birds on the majestic theme. Words. Everything ends up back at birds. And also, I don't have too much longer I can stay streaming, so you should probably start asking this. Anyone, like, I've never done a comic or anything like that. So like, any ideas on how I should do it? Like, art book is, that's just like images and you put text next to it, right? Typically. I could try to do a comic thing. I don't know how often I could work on that though. And then like the style. Like what style should I do? Should I try to do a game? Then I have to learn all the coding and the 3D modeling. Oh, like a card. Okay. card game more reasonable. Although then having to find out balancing for stuff like that. Just a walking sim. I was thinking if I did it like a inscription mod? No way. Someone else can do that when like this idea is fully fledged. I can't code yet. Especially code a mod. I mean, like, and they saved me from drawing the stoat at the start of the match. So you'd rather have horrible blood, cross monstrosity. Yeah, I'd probably want that too instead of the stoat. Stoat's all like, oh, free me, I'm stuck in a card, oh, help. Like, get over it. Squeak. I was kind of thinking about like doing a quote-unquote sketchbook of a person like a living during this, which is why back to that original drawing, why I drew this, because I was like thinking this could be a page in their sketchbook of something they saw, and maybe that's how this story is told. So, comic book without the talking, that would be much easier. So it also stops me from drawing my worthy sacrifice beehive. Yeah, the words could just be in papers. Maybe there's multiple. True, just like do a we was here. Something like that where it's more like environmentally spoken. Even though that's like that's a little on the nose, but stuff like that. A comic book without the talking is really nice. I could try. Like Silent Hill. Does Silent Hill have a comic book? I mean, it probably does. I wouldn't be surprised. I know Silent Hill the game. I don't know about any comic adaptation. Squeak. Oh, the movie. The MPF manga. It will be a shonen style manga of the fighting variety. The power creep is gonna be insane. When will I... Oh, Silent Place. I do know of that one. Hey, no need to be sorry. I mean, they could both be silent adaptations of stuff. Like, I can see Silent Hill having no words in it, depending on like who you follow in the story. Also, I don't know when I'm ever gonna have time to work on this stuff, and also, I don't know how far you're supposed to be in like the brainstorming story process before you start. Big surprise, I'm not a writer, guys. Could you tell? I hope it wasn't obvious. Aw, jeez. The stoked. Oh, I know you are. You're like the storyteller on the arts. How long in advance do you plan before you like start writing? Or are you just that good? You're just like the goat at writing, and you come up with all that stuff off the top of your dome. The concept is almost complete. I mean, it do be concepting. Got the wormy schwormies, got the powers. Like 10 minutes, 9% of what I come up with is on the spot. Dang. Impressive. Very impressive. Built the whole world on the spot. I mean, sure, it was over multiple stories, chunks, but that does not take away. Worms and monsters up. How the worms and monsters are. Oh, we got the worm. I mean, it would probably not, you know, this is not the final design, but like, I mean, it's a worm. They be worming it up. Now, people, yeah, people more difficult. Monsters, I got the monsters probably covered. Probably. A smidge. A couple of them. I was also thinking if I did do it in like a comic style, that I'd just use like red, black, and white for colors. Sweep. You know, stylized or whatever. How does human society work? That's not well. I imagine there's going to be a whole lot more warlordy types. Season control over small groups. And maybe some of the worm types are like more aggressive. Like maybe the osteomancers are like way more prone to fighting. And like the Caromancers are just kind of chill. Mad Max Society, like, yes. But instead of water, it's lots of food. Or hunting grounds. And then, like, the plague doctor types are probably more civilized. But, you know, still not great. And the main character, or main characters, will have wormy schwormy, maybe? The habitats will look like, habitats will probably be like, at least at the start of the story, would probably be like normal earth, forests, and such. Not much has changed, and then maybe as time goes on, it might get weirder. Maybe like certain monsters fuse into the main character worm, grants him his plot armor. True. The plot armor worm. You can tell this is the main character because they have all the powers and are also better than everyone else. And they can never die, only get hurt a little bit, kind of. And everyone wants to be their friend. Yeah, the crosses could make giant webs for landscape and then do something. Find out on Season 2. Or maybe there's like some giant spider type monster that gathers the crosses to make something. Like its web. Worm Wittrel to summon the mighty worm god, not the worm god. It's like the other worms, but really big. Yes, giant spider. Giant spider. Big spider. Spider time. Arachnos, Lord of Blood. Like a door spider. The door spider with the funny butt, like a trapdoor spider. Uses its own abdomen to cover up its hidey hole. Water spider. Like the ones that tread on water. Many different spiders. Could be tarantula, black widow, huntsman, camel, brown recluse, other. And of course, since like the only actual things being affected are, or currently being affected, are things with spines, it's actually some horrible flesh amalgam of mammals and reptiles, and not an actual spider. It's just mimicking spider. Dragon mosquito? Let's feed the vibe. Vibe fitted. I probably should have switched this felt tip for an actual tip. Make ant spider's really good one. That's the one that pretends to be an ant, right? Ant spider. Yes. Goofy looking fella. I know some of my spiders. We have the woodlouse spiders, spider giant, since they're completely red. Woodlouse spider. They do be red. I just had a thought where maybe this is like a monster that has the hemomancy worm in it, and then like its webbing is made of blood. It's a nasty one. The woodlouse spider. Also making it so that this thing needs a lot of blood, making it a predator, like a very active one. And also, if it's controlling its blood, it could probably feel it like a real spider, where instead of just feeling for vibrations, it just feels anything at all touching it. Squeak, 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 squonk. Maybe it's a long abdomen could be used as a giant blood tank. True. Thousands of 1,000-liter blood. Do many things. Make an army of blood golems. Make sharp blood rain. I'm not sure if it would be intelligent enough for the blood golems, but I mean, different blood attacks like blood rain could work. Are big and the other animals are. No, hold on. We can't just go. Well, I mean, we could just go changing the whole world, but we can't just go changing the whole world. Even if this is completely a work of fiction, and therefore we could. It's just not the same. You are going for now? Goodbye. Have a good rest of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. I'll probably be ending stream shortly. I think it's been pretty good. Got a lot done. It's a lot more stuff than I could come up with by myself. Thank you for coming along for the brainstorming. You're back. Welcome back, Nipsey. While you were gone, made a giant spider that has hemomancer abilities. Maybe the giant blood spider could also have an egg sac that contains tiny blood spiders. Could. Oh no, the monsters are fertile? Oh geez. The implications. That's what the web's for, to protect its egg sac. Blood nest for the blood spiders. No, no. Breedable? Sure. Should you though? No. Also, how would that work? Does it, what is the animal that comes out? Does it also have a worm? Like, if two monster cows breeded, would it just be a normal cow, or and then need to be infected with the worm, or like, is the worm already in the cow? I just don't know if them breeding makes sense. Worm squared, no. Worm 2. You've heard of worm, but now are you ready for worm 2? Worm 2 electric boogaloo. Gets a little squeaky up in here. Wormception. There's a worm in the worm. No. Worms that give live young. Birth live young. Ponder. I mean, that's some ideas, some good stuff. I think, though, I will have to be going. But this has been very, very good. Just give me some deja vu. It's the wormception. Thank you everyone for being here, giving ideas. I'd say, like most of this, I would not have come up with had I not done this. The bloodborne tide of worms sounds similar. Not the bloodborne reference. I don't know when I will, like, actually start, you know, doing pages for this, especially because I'm going to be busy for a while coming up. But I think it's a really good starting point of tutorial. I'm sure to be reading it. Thank you for You're welcome. Thank you for being here. The once a month random stream that I don't tell anyone about until 5 minutes before starting, not even like a minute. And I might do the, if I do it, I'll probably might do the minimal or no words, just adventure type thing. See the sights, encounter the creatures, giant shonen epic battle. You know, the usual. I don't know how I would post this or anything, but that's for future me to find out. Wow. So, I mean, hey, don't have to say anything in Discord. I mean, reading it's good enough, right? It's chill like that. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I won't stall any longer. Bye bye. Have a good morning, good night, good afternoon, great rest of your day, and bye bye.